Thank you. Well, I've decided to shave and patch myself up a little bit. Your prayers are just look at me. I mean, look at me. I mean, total transformation. We're gonna jump right in, and we're gonna talk about Cancer and Pisces. We're gonna jump right in. Okay. Okay. First, understand that Cancer and Pisces are both quite fragile at heart and are easily devastated. That is the first thing you have to know concerning these two combinations. Oh dear, let me put these over here to protect myself a little bit from there. Okay. Now, one, of course, dedicated to Ra, and the other one to Hathor. Listen, I had to go voodoo, and give thanks, and I blessed every single one of you. Every single one of you are my subscribers. All of you, I have sent you positive energy through crystals. Each and every single one of you. So I needed to just take a pause to just say that, because you have to celebrate when you're in good health. Because I don't know how long I'll be here. All of us are here on borrowed time, And of course, devastated, easily devastated. And that goes for both the Cancer man and the Cancer woman. And the Pisces man and the Pisces woman. Okay? Remember, this is water with water. Okay? This combination falls under the compatibility of signs, like I mentioned in the first one. If I didn't, I don't remember. But I'm mentioning it now. Because it is water-water. It doesn't matter the combination of its cardinal or mutable or fixed water. It still works. There is still a congruent harmony between the water signs. So they do fall under the compatibility of signs for both men and women, and including the reversal. Okay? And I'll tell you why this is so. This is so because they both understand the pain. If one thing that ties this combination, my time, the thing that keeps this combination together, believe it or not, is a common index within these two people to be able to experience pain and know how degrading and terrible it is. No other element in astrology feels pain more than the water signs. So when you have two water signs together, whether it is a man or woman, they are going to be empathic of each other. They're going to have an understanding of each other to know that they are not going to hurt each other, because they know that it is too intense. Not just their own individual hurt, but then the pain of having it's 3:30, the witching hour, so I hear all kinds of noises. So it's, what can I say? What can I say? Because both of them understand this threshold of pain that they can experience, they try very hard not to hurt each other, bruise each other. That's the one thing that you gotta understand with these two combinations, okay? They know the pain that thoughtless words can have, or even deeds, or even acts can cause to one another. Any single act of inconsideration, any single act of dismissal can really have ramifications. it can really have ramifications. For Mr. Cancer or Mrs. Pisces or vice versa, you know, excuse me, which way around. So because of that, they're not going to deliberately come out and hurt each other. They're not going to do that. They will be careful not to hurt each other, since they know how deeply wounds can run, either intentional or not. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay. They know that words can hurt. Words can hurt, words can wound. And because of that, they're not going to go out of their way. It's heavy to chain. They're not going to go out of their way to hurt each other. They are going to be respectful and considerate of each other and of their feelings. And this is what's going to safeguard the relationship. This is what's going to create a stronger bond with this relationship. Perfect. See, the Pisces Cancer compatibility is very honest and sincere when it comes to the expressions of feelings of love. They're not going to pretend to be in love if they're not in love and if they don't feel love for each other. They're not going to say it. They're not going to lie about how they feel about each other. So that's why, like I said in part 1, you're going to know immediately and off the bat whether this combination is going to work or not, because of the fact that you know from the beginning that this combination is so sensitive and so kind of like walking on eggshells or being a wildflower, that it's impossible not to see how the other person will be affected by the words and actions of the other. They're going to be aware of how they're coming across to each other and the impact that their behavior, their words, or their actions will have on each other. Okay. And again, both should feel love and vibrate this love for one another. Both of them. If it's really true, if it's really real, the Pisces and the Cancer will feel it, because it's a vibe. It's a vibration. And they'll get, if Cancer don't feel that, then it's not real. It's not there. If Pisces doesn't feel that, then it's not real and it's not there. See, for this combination, even though it's compatibility of signs, it can be also a misnomer, because it really is contingent upon the maturity level too of this couple. You know, if they're below 30, you know, they might not be ready to confront the deeper recesses of themselves, or they might not be ready, they might not even be aware, especially when you're below 30. You're still on a path of self-discovery. That's why it's always good to form a relationship past 30. It has a better chance of success. Both of you should know each other well enough to know what will be expected of each other and what is your capacity to give of yourself and sacrifice in order to make a relationship work, regardless of what sign combination we're talking about. You know, the style and how this comes across is by the compatibility or incompatibility of the signs. That is where the specific is, but the general rules of engagement in a relationship applies to all the signs, including this combination. So You have to understand that with this combination, if one feels the vibe and the other one doesn't, then it's not going to work. Not going to work. Not going to work. You both have to feel it. You both have to feel that vibe, that connection. That, owie. What's the matter? It feels like I know him. Or I know her. What are you talking about? Oh, don't you get that in your stomach? Like I've known this person before. Don't tell me you haven't had them feelings. Like, oh, yeah. The soul remembers. This is one of those combinations where the meeting is karmic and fated. Which one of the two is which? The fated belongs to Cancer. The karmic belongs to Pisces. So if you meet someone of this combination as your partner, understand that there's a karmic connection to this meeting. It's not just a chance meeting. And depending upon how it unfolds will determine how that relationship ended up in the last life. Because we all pick up from where we left off. That is why the birth chart is so important. The birth chart details those specifics. And that falls under the 4th house of Cancer, which is the immediate past life. Multiple lives is in the 12th house, where you can examine a trajectory of the previous lifetimes. But if you want to know the immediate life that you had before this one, you look to Cancer, cardinal water, and the 4th house, which also rules the ancestors and the ancestral tree, the race lineage, and all that good stuff. This is also Cancer, So we are, and that was a different epoch. That was the age of Cancer, because the pharaohs, their reign was far longer. It went around the zodiac. It wasn't 25 years. It wasn't 5,000, 6,000 years ago, like these archaeologists say. That is a complete miscalculation. And I know, because I was an Egyptian in a past life. And when I was young, I was able to read the hieroglyphics. And the professor would be baffled. But I knew, because I remembered. I even remember the period and the temples in which I was a priest. It was the kingdom of Hathor, the temple magic priest. And I remember being, of course, she had many priests. I remember being one amongst them. Just like in the Vatican, where you see tons of cardinals and tons of bishops, that are like rows of them. I was one of those types, because Hathor had many priests. So I remember, and I used to have dreams when I used to remember being a priest, sacrificing in those days. Yeah, I remember. So, and that's Cancer. And in my chart, I have Cancer in my midheaven. So I have the ability to recall those existences. So too can Cancer and Pisces. And when you have them as a combination together, you can recreate and recapitulate certain experiences that you have already experienced in other lifetimes. And if they repeat themselves again in the same pattern that they did in the last lifetime, then that means that there was stuff here that was not resolved. Because the 4th house is the house of unfinished business. So it's not going to be always all fun and peachy when it comes to this combination. Not because it's going to be bad, but because there might be stuff that they might discover about each other that they didn't even realize was dimensional to them. It really depends too on the level of evolution that these people find themselves in. Yeah, like I mentioned here. Okay, I'll be waiting. Okay. Now, part of the self-discovery and I know this person, and you feel good or you shy away, is that you may also awaken the shadow element within each other. One can make this far more dangerous to the mental health of both sides, is if they get stuck in the profile of their shadows. It's something that they're gonna have to transcend, right? Both shadows of the couple will be seen. They won't be able to hide it. Okay, these two people wear their hearts on their sleeves. They can't help it. There is absolutely nothing negative or dark or ugly about one another that they're not going to know already. Either they'll dream about it before meeting, or they'll dream about it soon after the meeting. It's nothing is going to really phase this couple when it comes to understanding the inner recesses of who they are, each as individual and then as a couple. Again, it's one of those things like a wheel, and they go like this. They go, they clank. See, that's this combination. If it doesn't do this immediately, if it bumps immediately, then it's not going to work. This is a very beautiful combination, but it's one that is as complex as these hieroglyphics, which is why I use this as a cover for part 2. And this period did occur in our history, and it happened during the age of Cancer, So we have to understand that Cancer, whether it's the man or the woman, is not going to, again, like I mentioned, reveal themselves openly like that to you. Watch my Cancer women videos and Cancer men videos for further clarification, right? Because they move with the tides of the moon, and the moon, as you know, has an independent orbit from the sun, and it has a sidonic movement with our planet. The moon doesn't rotate around the earth. The moon and the earth are locked in a sidonic movement. That's why we don't see the other side of the moon, because they move at the same time together. That's called a sidonic movement of the moon and the earth. That's why we can't see the other side of the moon. And the moon doesn't spin on its own axis. The electromagnetic pull of the earth doesn't allow the moon to spin on its own axis. It's locked, and they move together like this, like a binary star. So it seems that the moon is codependent upon the earth. The earth being the larger body, asserting the larger mass of gravity to hold the moon in place. So psychologically, we can apply this to the Cancer man or the Cancer woman, whereas you cannot take her or her emotions too seriously. She might not even know or be aware of her own volatility. So you have to be strong enough to be able to not change her, not stop her. Remember, this is a cardinal sign, so you're not going to win. And you're not meant to control her or stop her. But you are supposed to enlighten her and educate her and redirect her, should she ask. Not that you're going to go in there and make changes without her permission. Cancer is complex, and you're going to have to accept and honor that, Mr. or Mrs. Pisces. And this can work because the moon rules the tides of the ocean, which is the backstrokes of Pisces. This can be a very harmonious and congruent relationship if both of you are allowed to be who you are emotionally and enmesh, but also know when to not enmesh. This combination is, what did I put here? Sleep. Oh, yes. It's, this combination is intensely romantic. But it can also be idealistic and shrouded in rare mix, like in a rare mix of reality and fantasy. Fantasy belonging to Pisces, and reality belonging to Cancer. Okay, so there could be a mixed bag of the two. And if there is a mixed bag of the two, then the relationship might be a little rocky or a little murky, in the sense that not rocky. I would say murky, in the sense that. But then again, this depends on the maturity level of the couple. Where are they in their development? Whether it's below 30 or above 30, that really makes a difference. Because with this combination, there has to be someone has to be the strong one, and the strong footing. And that usually belongs to Cancer, being the cardinal sign. And in this instance, it works. Pisces can work, especially if the individual birth chart, there's a lot of Cancer or a lot of cardinality, or if there's a cardinal cross in the chart that can indicate that Pisces will be able to control Cancer or direct or guide Cancer. But usually it's the other way around. It's usually Cancer that leads. So one of them have to choose who's going to lead, number one. Okay, these two should, with this type of combination of the fantasy and reality, these two should be writing love notes, poems, buying flowers for each other, buying all kinds of gifts, just being in a lovey-dovey existence. It's such a beautiful combination. I don't know of any other combination that is also as beautifully romantic as this combination. Okay, including they should be, sexually and romantically speaking, should be giving into each other and enjoying each other's goodies and their delights, and prepping themselves every day, towards the evening, where then they can explore with romantic magic lovemaking. This combination is enchanting, Neptunian, and romantically mystifying. Yeah, oh no, I know that was a lot. But see, these two will radiate a sort of sex magic, a luminescence of which could light up a street lamp in the middle of a midnight fog bank in a coastal city. You know what movie comes to mind? Casablanca of the 1940s, with Ingrid Bergman and Humphrey Bogart. And now I'm talking to my generation now, because I know the millennials who are not even born to know about this movie. And this movie is now over a century old. Well, not really. Well, almost, yeah. No, it came out in the 1940s. And that movie symbolizes this combination. It's romantic. But that doesn't mean, though, that there won't be tears along the way. I know. Cancer, if it wins Pisces' trust, they will not stray at all. They will not stray. Now, the danger of this combination is, well, how can I put it? The danger of this combination is that the fact that Pisces can lose herself in fantasy, confusion. She could make up her own ideas in her head about what's going on with the Cancer man or woman who doesn't talk. And she can, because she's so powerfully intuitive, she's going to believe what she feels. And of course, why shouldn't she? Her feelings, when she pays attention to them, they don't lead her wrong, Miss Pisces. But the minute she starts to listening to other people's advice, including an astrologer, she could go wrong. Which is why when we advise Piscean women, myself, I usually don't give them an answer. They have to come up with the answer, and then I will guide them whether they're making the right decision or not. Because Pisces will always have the answer. And as long as Pisces doesn't get stuck in fear and begins to live around the relationship and not confront issues in hopes that it will destroy the relationship, then it could be a magical existence of the two of them. But if Pisces allow herself to be lost to her fears, then this can destroy the relationship before it even starts. And we're done with this combination. Sagittarius and Libra will be next.